And I'll make sure to send that. So, all right, very good. Debbie, you're good. All right, awesome. All right, so we'll start in our chair. So again, hopefully you guys could see me loud and clear. We'll start with our facial exercises. So the first one, I haven't done these in a while. So again, we're gonna do our face one. So it's gonna be opening up the mouth, looking up and closing the jaw, stretching out this sternocleidomastoid and our neck. So long name for a muscle, but that's what it's called. So open your mouth, up, and shut it. So when you shut your mouth, you should feel a nice stretch here. So let's do about 10 to 12 of those. So go ahead. I love all your pets, Debbie. You just get right in front of the camera. Gotta keep going. Remember, trying to do 12 of them. So you can open the jaw. Close that. So make sure your jaw has to be open before you raise your head, and then you close it. Let's do 2 more. Very good. All right. Okay. We're gonna move on to our cheeks. Okay. So we're just gonna puff up our cheeks with air. And then relax. Puff them up. You almost want to puff them up enough where it's a little bit uncomfortable, where your cheeks are irritating a little bit. So, and try to move that air maybe on your inner upper lip, so you could blow that up a little bit. So about 3 more. All right, those lips could get a little sore. Same thing, we're gonna puff them up. Now we're gonna draw lines from our earlobes down to the outside of our lips, okay? Whew. Sorry. Yawning over here. All right, now let's draw lines from our eyes to the outside of our lips. And we want to draw those lines a little bit gently closer to the eyes, because we don't, skin around our eyes is pretty sensitive. We just want to draw small lines. I'm going to puff your cheeks up. All right, very good. Okay. Now we're going to inhale through our nose, exhale through our lips, and we want to just exhale through a little small pipe or a little small hole on our lips. So again, so inhale for about 3 or 4 seconds and exhale for about 5 to 8 seconds. So as you're exhaling, you should feel your core tightening up. All right, these last two, let's try to exhale as much as we can until we definitely don't want to pass out, but let's try to exhale as much as we can. You feel a little bit of a sensation in that upper chest. Woo. All right, very good. All right, so we got that out of the way. All right, and then now we're just gonna just palpate, just light massage around our lips. So just wanna, again, just palpating is gonna promote a little bit of blood flow to that area. It's almost, I think this is, and I could be wrong, but I would think that this is more effective. It's like when you put icy hot, you know, you're trying to warm up that area, but it's hit or miss. Sometimes it gets cold, sometimes it gets hot. But you know, so it's forming up that layer of the skin. There has to be a reaction with the skin that is forming the skin up. But palpating the muscle, you know, it's gonna promote, you know, a little rush of blood to go to that area. And then just because I'm gonna use like my inner, not my fingertips, but my knuckles, and then just kind of rub on my cheeks. Just being gentle. All right, very good. All right, now we're gonna start with our neck stretches. Okay, try and go just looking left to right. It's pretty easy. We do this one all the time. So yesterday I had to update my pantry a little bit because I was running out of some spices and some dressings. So I found a sugar-free ketchup, which doesn't taste much different, which is good. I also found a sugar-free strawberry preserves. So I was excited to see that. So my oatmeal won't be as boring up and down. So yeah, just trying to cut my sugars in some areas. I had a relative who's cut out her sugars and she's lost quite a bit of weight. You know, I think physical activity has increased a little bit, but the biggest change has been in her diet, and weight has, you know, it's noticeable, which is great. All right, very good. All right, we're gonna just grab this left side of our head with the right arm. Our left hand's gonna be underneath our thigh. So you don't want that shoulder just to do this. So that's where we're fixing it. And then just allowing that elbow to drop. Okay, I'm gonna switch. So sit on that right hand, left arm goes over, stretch. All right, very good. We're gonna do some neck circles. Softly, the slower the better. You do want to get as much range of motion as possible. Just keep going. Let's do about 8 circles. I'm gonna check the chat. I love sharing my nutrition because then you guys help me out sometimes with different ideas. So Christine's just sharing that there's some great sugar-free candy that she recommends. So. Okay, let's switch directions. I'm also, I was asking my buddy about cream of rice. He wasn't familiar with it, but he says he does a lot of cream of wheat and says it's way better than oatmeal. So I'll have to test that out too. So I got a little box of that, so we'll see. All right, pretty good. Okay, next one, we're gonna do the neck retraction. Okay, so that's gonna be the turtle. Our back stays back, and then chest comes forward. I mean, our head comes forward. And we try to bring it behind our shoulders. Forward, back, forward, back. All right, very good. Okay. All right, now we're gonna continue and try with work our way down from this chair. So we're just gonna do some shoulder circles. Bring those shoulders forward. All right, let's reverse. Now we're going from the top to the back and below and around. All right, very good. Okay, now we're gonna go with some shoulder shrugs. Okay, so we're just gonna bring our shoulders up to our ears. Hold for about 3 seconds, then collapse them as far down as you can. Collapse. 2 more. All right, very good. Now we're gonna go ahead and bring that right arm across and just tuck in our left arm. Just pull on it. Just feel that stretch behind our shoulder, this area here. We're going to elevate that arm a little bit higher, tuck it in between our chin and our throat, or right underneath our, right next to our neck and throat. Relax, left arm across. Right up, right throat. Relax, very good. Ooh, I want to get a little bit tighter on the shoulders. All right. Okay, now we're going to work on some mobility stuff on our elbows and our hands, working our way down. So we're just going to do the bicep curl movement. Okay, make sure you get full extension all the way down. So I was listening to a podcast last night, and it was about, you know, fitness and bodybuilding. And there's this bodybuilder who got his PhD. He's pretty much a doctor, and you know, he was just kind of going over the importance of what it is to build muscle. Right now we're gonna go across, so to that opposite chest. And he says that, you know, everyone that gets into that sport just wants to eat a lot and lift a bunch of weights as quickly as possible. We're gonna alternate. So yeah, and then but I like what I heard. He said that if you don't have mobility in your muscles, I mean your bones still move in the manner they're supposed to, then that's more important, and that should be a priority over how many weights you're lifting or how heavy you are. But yeah, so it just got me thinking about this class, and you know, which makes me think, well, it makes me happy that, you know, this is something that a lot of people don't do that's super good for your body. All right, now we're gonna bring like a butt. We're just gonna tuck in here. Almost keep your elbows to your side. It almost feels like a little workout. How about you guys? But my tricep here burning a little bit. All right, Debbie, I saw you nod. Okay, I'm not the only one. All right, let's relax those arms a little higher. Shake them off. Okay. So we did the bicep curls. Now we're gonna do the hammer grip. So again, this is with no weight. So now instead of doing this with my palms facing the screen, my paws are facing my body, and then almost like a running motion. A running motion would be this. So just pumping the elbows. Very light. All right, now we're gonna flip. So now our palms are behind us pretty much, okay? So you see the top of my hands, palms are behind me. Now I'm gonna do this motion. Almost like if you're too lazy to say bye to someone and you're just like, okay, bye. Yeah, but you gotta do both arms. Oh, the other one, oh, I'm sorry. Okay, that makes sense. All right, very good. Okay, now we're gonna work on some wrist work. Okay, so I'm just gonna have my wrist overhang over my knee, and then I'm just gonna push down on it slightly, make sure it's not painful. I just want to stretch the tendons up here. I'm just gonna push back a little bit. Okay, and we're just gonna pump. Just kind of do like this. Or Debbie's got her cat on the screen now. They're taking turns. Okay. All right, so these elbows and wrist ones are getting me tired right now. Okay, so now we're gonna go and bring our thumb in, each finger pretty much to the center of our palm. Okay. And try to do each finger individually. The cat just wants to be pet. Got Lisa, got Milena, just hang. All right, left hand. See, if cats were like that all the time, Debbie, I'd probably own one, but I know they're not like that all the time. My old roommate had a cat and I have a nice scar on my foot right now. She wants something on.
If you saw my couch, the way they've scratched it up, you would think twice.
Exactly. All right, so let's squeeze with the right hand and open. So close, open. Does anyone else have a pet besides a dog or a cat? I used to have a 55-gallon fish tank, and I had, let's switch hands. This was in college, so my teammates in college would always I'd be doing homework, and sometimes I'd have 2 or 3 people just sitting on my floor looking at my fish tank. It was kind of cool. But I started off when I was smaller in elementary school. I bought this Oscar fish, which is this dark fish with orange spots. But it's one of those fishes that, well, most fish grow with the tank, with the size of the tank, especially goldfish. Goldfish can get pretty big. All right, really good. Okay, so now what we're gonna do is just do some just circles with our wrists. Make sure it's not painful. So yeah, I mean, I got this little black goldfish from Walmart for about $6, and then I had it for about a year, and it got to the size maybe about the size of just a little bit smaller than a football, but it got pretty big. And yeah, so now when I would give it its food, switch directions, but once a week I would feed him about like 15 smaller goldfish. So I'd have, I had these like little goldfish in there, and then his name was Big Meech. So Big Meech would just go around and eating the little fishes, but then 1 or 2 of them were, just that little hiding case for them. And then eventually 2 of those fishes got big enough where they survived, and they just outlasted the friends, and they were a little bit smarter. So, but I mean, this fish tank was massive, and I eventually got a soft shell turtle that was the size of a quarter when I got it. And when I had to get rid of the tank, turtle was about this big, and it was one of those things that we're gonna go ahead and do the scratching of. Like, speaking of cats, we're gonna scratch the toes. So we're gonna go ahead and do this motion here. So reaching with our hands and stretching out our back. So yeah, so this turtle was big, and it was really cool to look at because its neck was probably the same length as its shell. So it was like one of those snake-looking turtles. And yeah, but I had to get rid of that tank. But I like to have a tank again. They're fun. Saltwater tanks are a lot more, demand a lot more work. And the fish are a lot more expensive too. If you're reaching, try not to come off your chair. Right, very good. All right, we're gonna do some hip openers. Please remember those. Just here, sit back, out, in. We'll do about 12 on each side. Yeah, so when I got that turtle, eventually what I wanted to do, because I always, reptiles last forever. So I think those turtles lived up to 120 years. So my plan was to have it for generations and generations and hand it down to my kids and my grandkids. And yeah, that didn't work out. I really had it for about 2 years. Yeah, maybe in the future. Can I switch? That'd be something neat to have. I like hearing stories too when folks, there's a tree in someone's yard and there's a story behind it. That's always cool too. Now on social media, you're seeing these crazy things where instead of, when someone passes, they could turn them into this huge seed pod and you can have the remains of someone turn into a tree, which is kind of eerie. Yeah, there's a company doing that out there that incubates the individual to make them into a tree. I don't know how I feel about that. So, all right, we're gonna go ahead and do the straight legs. Well, actually, performance stretch. So, right leg, right heel over that left knee, and then we're just gonna push down. Yeah, I wouldn't want to be turned into a tree. But if I did, I'd be an avocado tree. Then how would you feel about eating that fruit? That's kind of weird. All right, let's bring that knee closer to our chest. So I'm gonna cook that chicken that's been marinating in the orange juice today. So I cooked some of it yesterday, and you could, I guess it made it a little bit more tender, but not too much. But we'll see how it comes out after 1 day of marinating it. All right, let's switch. I think my buddy's done a marinade of tequila and lime juice on chicken before. I had it. It's actually pretty good, but yeah, people get creative with some of those. Sure, you're leaning on that knee. All right, let's bring that knee up with our chest. All right, just hold it there. Just gonna check the chat real quick, grab some water. We have been stretching for about 35 minutes. Make sure you're hydrating too. All right, Ivan, I'll send you your fish. Yeah. Christine said she's had many fishes before, but how do you take care of fish? So yeah, so on that huge tank I had, I used to make my own filters because they would be expensive. So you could go to shops and you could buy the foam and other materials, and you can make your own filters with that. But and those fish do have a lot of waste. So yeah, it's a lot of work. All right. Okay, so now we're gonna go. I'm gonna back up a little bit so see a little bit more. So legs straight. We're gonna do some leg extensions. Okay, so keep your hands under your thigh and just leg extensions. Continue. Do about 15 to 20 of those. This should be pretty easy. If you see me getting up, it's because I'm checking the chat. Yeah, so yeah, I would make my own filters. You have to make sure the temperature is correct too. So I had a thermometer that would, on hot days, it would cool down the water. On cool days, and when I was up in school, it would get really cold. So you needed a heater in there. So yeah, so sometimes if it's really cold, the fish could die because the water's too cold. And then maybe about once a week, in a 55-gallon tank, I would remove about 15 to 20 gallons and then dump it in the tub, and then I'd get 20 new gallons of water and refill it. So there's cleaner water in there too. I guess I learned quite a bit from it. All right, so now legs straight, and leg comes up and down, okay? I'm just leaning back on my chair. All right, for that gets too tiring, let's do the other leg. I think growing up I had hamsters, but hamsters, oh man, I don't think I ever had a hamster last more than a month. I think all those hamsters. I think I lost one, and then yeah, most of them didn't. I didn't do too good with hamsters. All right, very good. Okay. All right, so now we're just gonna do some tibial raises. So I'm gonna drop it down here. So we're gonna go just elevating the toes, dropping them, elevating. You should feel your shin muscle and tibialis working. Let's hold it for about 3 to 5 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm super excited. Today's my cheat day. Well, my cheat meal. So for dinner, I could eat whatever I want today. All right, now we're gonna do some heel raises, okay? So now we're doing the opposite. So now we're lifting our heels, holding down, hold down. Let's do 3 more. All right, very good. Okay, now I want you guys to try to grip the floor with your toes. Okay, so almost try to claw down at the floor. It might be easier if you're barefoot. Definitely easier if you're wearing shoes. It might be a challenge. If you have socks, it might be easier, but if you're barefoot, it's a little bit the easiest. All right, good. All right, we're gonna focus our attention on just one ankle. So elevate it, we're gonna do our ABCs, okay? Switch. All right. Good. All right, so find me a golf ball and also a small rag. We're gonna do some arch work. It could be a golf ball. I have a rugby ball. All right, before we beat up the tendons too much, we're just gonna use this rag. Okay, just kind of lay it out. Then I'm just gonna squeeze with my feet, lift and drop. I'm gonna try to fix that towel back, grip, drop. All right. So again, if you're dealing with plantar fasciitis, tight calves, shin splints, this is a good one for all of that. Let's switch legs.
Coach, what happened if my feet cannot do it?
If your feet can't do that, that means your tendons are probably a little bit tight.
Uh-huh.
So if you can't, can you pick it up or no?
No, not even.
Okay, can you scrunch your toes a little bit?
Yes.
Okay, so do that. So just keep your entire foot on the towel.
Yeah,
And then at least try to, you see how my towel is moving slightly?
yeah, yeah.
Okay, go for that movement, okay?
Okay,
So, yeah.
yeah.
'Cause you probably,
Yeah, I need to work on that. Thank you.
of course,
Thank-
yeah, so we could do that. And we could all probably do that one right now. So just keep your heel on the towel as well. Your toes there, and we'll do this one together. So scrunch up. You see how my towel is moving slightly?
Yeah, that looks like a good exercise.
Yeah, no, it's a good one. I know people that do this one a lot that have gone from being flat-footed to having a medium arch. So that means that they'll go from like a size 10 shoe to like a maybe a 9.5 or maybe a size 9. So, all
Let's see. Thank you.
right, let's switch legs. Yeah, like for me, I have a little bit more trouble on my left foot. It does feel weaker. So if you're flat-footed, you might have a larger shoe size. And if that arch becomes a little bit stronger and develops an arch in there, then your shoe size might decrease a little bit. Like sometimes they say that your feet keep growing, and as you get older, your feet continues to grow. It's not necessarily that. It just means that your arches are collapsing and your feet is just extending. So, all right, so let's go ahead and grab a golf ball, maybe a rugby ball, a tennis ball. So I like this. Can't grip it with my toe. So I'm just gonna just roll it back and forth. That feels good actually. Tennis balls might be a little bit too soft. So some of you folks might have to graduate to a golf ball, maybe a marble. You have a trigger point ball. You have a potato. Maybe a really firm apple. All right, let's try to focus on the inside part. So let's try to focus on this inside part of our arch. It's a part that, gets a lot of stress.
This part of the exercise is very good. Feels really good on the feet.
Yeah. Good. And let's switch legs. Yeah, this is my favorite class of the week. Maybe because my heart rate's not up, but also because I feel like it is a little reset for my body when I'm starting to feel like something's flaring up. Take this class, like okay, I'm back to normal. Make sure you try to get the entire length of your foot. So you might miss something. Maybe you have a little strain on your heel or by your toes. You might not catch it if you're not rolling out. So. All right, so let's try that inner part of the arch. So if you guys still have crazy Friday nights where you're going out in your high heel shoes and dancing the night away, then this is probably something you should be doing on Saturday morning because your feet are going to be destroyed. So if you're walking up hills, if you're wearing high heel shoes, anything that you're activating your calves and your arches, this is something that benefits you. Okay. All right, very good. All right, so we're done with the chair exercises. So let's get our yoga mat and let's transition to the floor. And if we have time, we'll do the standing up ones. So make sure you get some water. Okay, 30 seconds, we'll start again. Check the chat. Right. Okay, so we're gonna go on the yoga mat. We're gonna start with the quadruped stretches. So again, so it's right here. On the floor. Okay. All right. Okay, so this time, we're just gonna start with the cat cow. You guys remember that? We're gonna keep our wrists right below our shoulders, our knees right below our hips, and we're gonna arch up. And again, we're looking down the entire time. Bring your belly down, suppress it, arch back up, inhale, exhale on your way down, inhale on your way up, exhale on your way down, inhale, bring that belly towards the sky, exhale, the belly drops, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. All right, okay. First we're gonna do the puppy pose. So now we're gonna drop our elbows in front of us, keeping our hips right above our knees. Just drop down. Make sure those hips are right under those knees are right under your hips. Okay. Drop your head. Look down. Just relax in this position. About 30 seconds. Relax. Okay. Now with the chair that you guys are just sitting on, if you guys could grab that for me, we're gonna place it in front of our mat. Okay, so that's right here, as you guys can see. Okay, so what we're gonna do now, instead of reaching down to the floor while keeping our hips above our knees, we're gonna place our hands on that chair. Make sure that chair does not slide away from you. Make sure it's nice and secure. We're gonna stay here in this position. Okay. If you need to get a little bit closer to it, do so. Make sure you're comfortable. And again, your head's looking down. You should feel the stretch a little bit more by your shoulders, by your underarms. Make sure you're looking down. Don't look around. As you look at the camera, I'm going to have you do burpees. All right. Good job, Debbie. Keep it going. 10 more seconds. 3, 2, 1, time. All right. All right. We could dismiss that chair. Okay. All right. From here, we're going to bring back. This is the rabbit pose. So from here, our arms almost stay in that position that we're at right now, or that I'm at right now. I'm just going to bring my glutes back to my hips, okay? I mean, my glutes back to my heels. The arms are extended in front of me. Keep You can reach a little bit more with your hands if you like. All right, reset. All right, we're gonna get our hands under our shoulders again. So arch your back, make sure you're looking down, and again, drop your glutes to your heels. This is a little bit more relaxed. You can drop your elbows down. We're a little bit more tucked in than the rabbit pose. All right, reset. And now we're gonna go and shift our arms, our upper body to the outside part of the mat, shifting to the right. Okay. My legs did not move. Now we're gonna arch up and bring your glutes back to your heels again. All right, reset. All right, let's shift on over to the left. Arch that back first, and then drop your glutes to your heels. All right, reset. All right, very good. All right, now we're gonna go ahead and then just sit on the floor. Okay. Here, we're gonna go ahead and grab our legs, and we don't want to reach for our toes. We want to bring our chest close to our thighs, okay? So let's do that. With every deep breath, you should get a little bit closer and closer. All right, very good. Okay. From here, we're just gonna roll back and just have our legs tucked in. And then we're just gonna hang out here for about a minute or so. Okay. Don't fall asleep. All right, slowly start to unroll yourself. And then now what I want you to do is just with your toes, reach in front of you, and with your arms, reach behind you. Let's hold it for about 30 seconds. Relax. All right. Very good. Okay. We're gonna go ahead and do book openers from here. Okay. So this one we're on our side, almost like a clamshell. We're on our side. Okay. And my right arm is on the floor. Left arm is on top of it. And I'm gonna rotate without moving my legs. I'm gonna rotate my shoulders, opening up like a book, and until I could reach, as far as I could reach. My goal is always to bring my both shoulders back on the floor, and have it there for about 5 seconds. Then bring it back. And I want to repeat that another 9 times, so a total of 10. This one does take a little bit longer, but it's one of the best stretches for your back. Do 2 more, and I'm going to switch sides. Make sure those legs don't come off the ground. They shouldn't be rotating with your legs, with your arms. They should be flat. Very good. I'm going to switch sides. Once you're ready, you could go to your other side. And again, begin on this side. Oh, this side's definitely a little bit tighter. That's fine. Done all 10, just relax. Arms open. From here, this could be an ab workout too, but it's also good for your lower back. Okay, so I do want to keep my arms flat. So these are called knee drops, but they could also be they're knee drops when you're stretching your back, but when you're doing core, they're called half wipers. Okay, so you're dropping your knees that crunch position, and you're gonna drop them side to side. Okay. So now we're doing the same movement, but now we're doing it with our legs. Okay, so there's gonna be a little bit more mobility going on the lower body now. For this one, I want to do 8 on each side. All right, from here, we're gonna do is just bring our feet together, this angle, bring our feet together by our groin, and then we just wanna try to drop those knees down, okay? So again, this is a stretch. So we usually do sitting down here. So we bring our feet together, but now we want to be reclining. And again, we're gonna be here for about 45 seconds. Very good. Relax. This one, we're just gonna bring our leg, just hold it with our hand here, almost like how we were doing in the chair. Just extend. Okay, so this is the difference here is that we're getting a nicer stretch on the hamstring. When we're on the chair, it's more of knee mobility. But here, if you have your knee closer to your chest and you extend that lower leg, you should feel a nice stretch in your hamstring. So do about 12 to 15 pumps. Okay, once you've done that, go ahead and switch legs. All right. Okay, once you've done that, watch on your side. We're just gonna be doing some knee forward and then knee back. So it's almost like a high knee, but laying down. Make sure you're breathing. Okay, let's switch sides. good. Relax. Right. Last that we're gonna do is gonna be the shoulder stretches. Okay, so find me a stick, a pole, some type of rod that you could use as a tool to stretch out our shoulders. Almost done. So I'm a foam roller. You can grab a broom, you can grab an umbrella, grab whatever you like. Grab some water. Almost done. Right. We're gonna go ahead. It'll be right here. And if you need the email address, no. So, right here, left to right, just gently. Loosen that up. Let's go like your side to side. Try to keep that trunk fixed. All right, so now let's go back side to side. All right, on that left shoulder, let's go about 30 degrees forward. All right, 60 degrees. A little bit more front. All right, 90 degrees, right in front of us. Try to keep that trunk facing forward. Okay, now I'm going to turn to the side. So now that left arm comes back now. Okay, so now we're bringing it back. All right, very good. All right, now we're going to focus on that right shoulder. Okay. All right, 30 degrees. $60. 90, right in front of us. Now behind, so the right shoulder comes back. Very, very good, right? Now we're gonna go behind. Okay, look it back. And now we're gonna bring that elbows, we're gonna bring them up. And the last one is gonna be just bringing it back this way. Three more. 2, 1. Time. All right. Whew. All right, good stuff. Feeling a little bit extra sore. I don't know if it's the heat, but I'm gonna stop the recording.